Exploring the galaxy solo, being nothing but a bounty hunter with a busted ship and nothing but a vow to guide you. That, my friends, is the heart of Ironsworn Starforged, a gritty sci-fi TTRPG designed for solo, co-op, or guided play. But is it the right game for your table or your journal? That's the question that we are here to answer. Hi, hello, I'm Turk, and welcome back to the Grouch Couch. Around here, we do all different kinds of TTRPG weirdness. But today, my friends, we're checking out Ironsworn Starforged, the system that I actually recently used for 5 episodes of a solo play called the Last Astral. What we're going to do today is we're going to break it down. We're going to see what it is, how it plays, what I loved, what I didn't, and whether or not this solo-friendly sci-fi game belongs in your collection or not. Let's get into it. So before we get into the top-down camera and crack this thing open so I can show you what it looks like and all of its beautiful accessories, let's talk about what it is. This book right here was created by Sean Tomkin, the same guy who made Ironsworn, which is, you know, obviously the book. This is the second book to that book. The other one is a little bit more Viking, is what Ironsworn is, but Ironsworn is a free solo TTRPG that you can get online for free and check it out. And it's honestly really, really good. So I had to give Starforged a check out to see what it was all about. Now, Starforged was released in 2022, just a few years ago. It is still available on DriveThruRPG, or you can get it on the official site, PDF, physical book, reference guide, asset decks, all other kinds of good stuff that you can get with this. There's also a shipfaring supplement that came out recently that's medieval ships instead of starships, and that one also looks really good. And remember, if you don't want to pick this up or pick up anything else Ironsworn related, you could use our DriveThruRPG link down in the description to help support the show while you're doing so. Thank you so much for doing that. So the genre of this bad boy, it is solo first, and it is very much so narrative driven and narrative first, but it is still science fiction. It's got inspirations from The Mandalorian, Cowboy Bebop, Firefly, and maybe even a bit of Dune, but it has an original tone. This is about lone spacers, rough settlements, mysterious ruins, and promises that you swear in blood. Before we get into the actual review of this thing, to tell you what it is and what it isn't, at the top, I'm going to give you my take, all right, my experience thus far with this system, because I've been hanging out with this system for the past like 3-4 months, and I want to tell you about it. So I do think that this solo RPG right here is going to be pretty good for solo RPG beginners, all right? It's very structured and it's very guided. Although it does have a lot of pages in it, it comes with this awesome, well, you have to pick it up separately, but this awesome reference guide that if you're going to play this system, this is a must-have, or you're going to have to bookmark dang near everything in this book, so be prepared for that, or print out specific pages that you know you're going to need, okay? You could even buy the reference guide PDF and just print this thing out, because this helps me so much during my gameplay. And you know, if you're playing solo, you need not get bogged down. Things need to be moving relatively fastly so you don't lose interest, and this really, really helped. Reference guide, essential, okay? But it is beginner friendly, I would say. Beginner friendly if you've never played any solo things ever before. I kind of struggled with this system a little bit, but it's only because I have played more open-ended solo games in my time. Mythic 2E is what I usually always play. Yes or no questions constantly. The story is moving forward fast and you're still making checks on your main system. That's what I'm used to. This system is encouraged for narrative flow, but I personally felt like the moves that it represents in this book, it kind of put me in a bit of a box and left me struggling when it came trying to move my own story forward. It was like if I did one thing, I had to do this other thing, or I couldn't do that because I had to do this thing first or whatever else. So whenever I wanted to move my story one way, I was stuck in a box because of the move system represented in this here thing. And I mean, I want a little bit of dice rolls, you know, to help me get through a scene. I want to be making skill checks and yes and no questions through a whole scene. But in this one, it's kind of just like you make a move at the end of the scene to see where you go next. That's kind of what it feels like. Maybe I'm wrong, you know? I did still make skill checks throughout the whole thing. So I guess it is up to each your own, but that's my personal take on this thus far. Lastly, as a sci-fi game, the lack of aliens really kind of rubbed me wrong in this system. I mean, you're told up front in the system that you're human, and you should assume that everyone else in the world, in the Forge, is human. And that felt a little bit limiting to me, so I did make my own alien species in my campaign. Even on the last episode of The Last Astral, I made a new alien species called Eggles, and they were like spaced lizard people, because obviously. But when it comes to sci-fi and stuff, I want aliens. I want mystery and intrigue and magic and, you know what I mean, stuff stuff that you don't get normally. But this is kind of like gritty. You're a human in a spaceship and you must survive. There's no anything else like that. So if that's what you're looking for, you've come to the wrong place here, all right? Just so you know. Up front, I'm letting you know that. Unless you want to get crafty, like I did, and get your own kind of roll charts and stuff like that. But if you're planning on making a character that's a different kind of alien species, you're not going to get any racial bonuses or anything else like that in this system because they're assuming that you're human, and that's the way that it is. Also, I had a robot companion, and that was kind of cool though, because there's little reference cards as a bonus, right? I could use robot companion reference card. That was pretty sick. So bonus for that. I do want to give a little bit of my opinion though. In the positive side, there is a supply check you can make in this system. You have a supply stat. Every time you use stuff, your supply goes down. And if you're like, it's generally like, do you have something? Just make a supply check to see if you have it. You don't need to worry about keeping track of all your little itty bitty supplies. Just take note of the important ones. So you're like, do I have rope? Make supply check. And then you're like, oh, I do have rope. You know what I mean? Pretty sweet. I love that. And I think I might be using the supply check in all of my systems moving forward because that's just clever. That's beautiful. And it really helps with note taking and keeping track of all of the 100 different little orbs that you've collected. You know what I mean? It's awesome. And I will give it that. But that's just my opinion here. All right. Now we're going to move on to what everything actually is in this book. All right. We're going to go to the top down camera and we're going to deep dive into it together so you can decide what you think for yourself. Of course, because that's what this video is all about. Okay. So the outside, the physical overview, that's where we are now in the part of this here review. This is the hardcover. Premium hardcover book. It has a very clean layout. I do believe it is over 400 pages, almost. After the index, we're looking at 403 pages of a rule book right here. It's got a premium layout. I really love the artwork on this guy as well. I'll skim through it a little bit for you. It's got, I love good artwork in a good book because it's going to help you with inspiration, you know. There isn't a lot of character artwork, but we do have, there's some right there. Very cool. This cool little beast guy. Because you can get like alien companions. I think you can get like a talking cat or something like that, if I remember that correctly. I went with a robot though. Yeah, it's got a lot of really cool artwork in here, especially this one. I think this is like one of my favorites. We've also got beautiful ribbons for bookmarking. It comes with 2 ribbons, but just from my 3 months of play, this ribbon is already, I didn't like take it outside or nothing. I didn't, I wasn't mean to the book. It just kind of just happened somehow, over the time. So keep that in mind as well. So it has all of the moves in here. It is organized pretty dang well. All the moves have like color coded like tabs ish in here once you get down to them. But honestly, like I said, you're going to want to use the reference guide, which we're going to open up in a second. It does have a beautiful codex and lots of different kinds of roll charts. This is a pretty fat book. So it has all different kinds of stuff in it. Just skimming through it for you guys so you can give yourselves, a nice little look. That's what we're here for. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. A lot of different planet art, just very cool. A lot of different oracle charts and settlements and stuff like that. And you're going to get pretty much these exact pages have been copied and slapped into the reference guide. It's like just the important stuff to play the games. Same exact pages, but they're slimmed down for you. It's kind of a lot of a fun, yes. And a lot of this art, man, it's cool. I didn't spend a lot of time in the core rule book. I loved that one when I was playing because I was just using the reference guide the whole time. But that's what you have here with the core rulebook. And we'll get into more about the rules and stuff and what else you're going to find in there in a minute. Right now, we're just talking about physical things and things that you're going to want to buy. So this is the reference guide. Also pretty dang sweet. It has all the moves in it, right? Which, again, these are color-coded, right? So we've got our green ones, our rare cover moves, fate moves. We've got exploration moves, quest moves. Very cool. Adventure moves, and our quick reference. So very cool. It also has all of our oracles in it. So theme, action, description, focus, sector names. Yeah. So it doesn't have, like I said, anything to do with species or aliens or anything you might find on a planet that deals with that. But it does have stuff like planet-side features from acid pools to colossal ice caves. We have those in roll charts for your planets that you're going to go to and explore as well. I spent a lot of my game on one planet. Towards the end of it, I got to a new planet, and I was pretty excited to start rolling on new things that I might find on that planet. And I did use their settlement names, settlement projects. See, a lot of your roll charts are just going to be right here for you to be able to roll on. I didn't get into space ship-on-ship combat at all. I'm not even sure if this book has it. I didn't look, so it's got a lot of really good things in here. I got a phone call. Sorry about that. Continuity errors. Yes, we've also got things for factions and other kinds of stuff. There's a lot of really good roll charts in here. Weirdly enough, though, I didn't find enough. I was like, I need more roll charts. I need more things. They also do have fun character sheets, which I did print out, and you're probably going to want to print out things as well, just so you can write on them. I put them in this nice character fob, keeping track of everything. And it does come with, like, you know, the cards and everything else. This character fob doesn't come with it. This is just like a general D&D character fob that I actually taped Swear an Iron Vow paper to the front of it. Beautiful stuff. But I also picked up this great book of random science fiction tables. This might be something you might want to get as well. Just shout out to this. It's got loads of fun stuff in it. This isn't a review for that, but everything that you ain't going to find in these oracles, you're going to find in these oracles. All right. Vessels, adventure ideas, side jobs, engineering. And it also has other kinds of just fun little things that I found very useful and helpful over my adventure. And you also get little play kits. It comes with a little play kit, and I printed that stuff out as well. So we have our sector map and things explaining about our planets, which was really, really kind of helpful. But I'm just skimming through this for you. In the back, it's got the rules summary. And the dice rolling rules in this system I really did like. We're going to get to that in a second. But first, the Ironsworn Starforged cards. Yes, these were really cool. I was really excited to play with these, but I used 3 of them over my first 5 sessions of play. Like I just went in here, picked the ones I used, and then these just sat in the deck for the rest of the time. Oh, but it did actually come with these 2 little helpful reference cards, pay the price, and then your oracle stuff right there. But these don't have any art on them. It's all just text pretty much. But the back do have, you know, different colored planets, so you can keep them organized. These look like they were just hue shifted probably. No, they are actually different. That's fun. They are actually different. So that's cool. We've got these in here. Support vehicles. Yeah. So those are the cards. There's no art on the cards, but they are very useful and very handy. And they feel like they are indeed, I'll test it for you just so you know. Are they dry erasable? Because you have little spots that you could write in. They feel like they are. They look like they are. I don't know how long it'll stay there for, but they feel like these are dry erasable cards. Very cool. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the gameplay of this here system. Moving on to gameplay. I'm just going to open this book up. I'll flip through it so you have something to look at while I talk. Basically, there are 3 different modes in this game. You've got solo, you've got co-op, and you've got guided. Look, I don't know how the heck a guided gameplay would work, especially with the moves in this game. I have no idea. I haven't seen anyone online do a guided gameplay. I have seen some of our friends, The Bad Spot, they do a lot of this kind of stuff, and I think that The Bad Spot did a co-op game of it, and it seemed super interesting. I actually wanted to do one with Fish, but we didn't get the time yet. We might in the future, but that's kind of where that is. The core mechanic of this whole system, you're going to have your stat, which is going to be your D6, all right? Your stat is your D6, and then your DC of what you're trying to beat are going to be 2 D10s, right? And you're going to roll your 2 D10s, and you're going to roll your D6. And if your D6 plus your bonuses beats 1, that's a weak hit. It beats both, that's a strong hit. And if it beats none, then that's a miss. That's the whole system. And I think it's really, really cool. Honestly, I actually liked rolling dice in that manner a lot. I was like, that's cool. I love that a lot. So even there, I got a 10 and a 4 and a 2. And let's say I had a bonus of 3 from like my wisdom or whatever, then I would have gotten a weak hit. Sick. We love it a lot. That's the dice rolling in a dang old nutshell. You also build momentum that you can spend over the course of the game. You can spend it to replace your stat roll dice, and your momentum goes up and down if you pass or fail your moves, basically your checks. And it's kind of a really good resource that did kind of keep things super, super interesting. I said I was going to flip through this, and I'm not. Anyways, there are also progress tracks. Much like I have here on my character sheet, you have your quests progress track, your bonds progress track, your discoveries, and your background vow, which is what's going to lead your quest overall pretty much forever, is your background vow. And as you do more moves and complete things, you mark off progress on your progress tracks, as well as like these ones here are my other progress tracks over the course of the episode. As I was doing things and moving forward, I was just keeping track of it, which really kind of interesting for me. It felt more like homework than fun when it came to the progress tracks. That's just me personally. I was like, oh no, I got to remember to do that. Oops, I forgot to mark, you know what I mean? Should I go back and mark that thing? thing. Oh, dang it, I forgot to mark. That's kind of was my experience like the whole time. All right, before I put this away, we're gonna talk a little bit about character stats. You've got Edge, Heart, Iron, Shadow, and Wits. All right, these are pretty self-explanatory. Let me scroll down here. So health, spirit, supply, that's basically gonna be like your life force around here. Yeah, you're also gonna have your assets, right? So your abilities, your ship, your gear, your allies, and your impacts are going to be lingering consequences. And a lot of these cards, they're in here, right? So I had path cards, I have my command vehicle and my companion card. Pretty cool stuff. I don't think there is gear cards. We have companion, we have deed, module, so those go in our ship later on if we level up our ship. We have our paths, a lot of paths, and then we have our support vehicles, and that's it. So there's no gear cards, but like I said, again, gear is kind of just ranged in like supply. Like, do I have this? Do I not have this? It's kind of the whole thing. You're not really going to find like a really cool +2 greatsword or blaster pistol that you're going to get a cool card for. You just kind of like have a blaster pistol kind of thing, and you just kind of like use it, you know. Basically, we're not keeping track of cool gear in this system. It's mostly narrative. But I do want to give a big shout out to the start a session move. I had a lot of fun with that. Also, shout out to this awesome chart that they have here. Again, this is really good for beginners. It's going to help you. You know what I mean? We love us a good pie chart. It's not a pie chart, but you know what I mean. So there is a start a session move that I really, really enjoyed. There's a roll chart on this that was just super sick. Focus for me. Thank you. I had a lot of fun with this. Every time I did the begin a session move, it made my session more interesting, and it gave more like narrative stuff or like what's going on, and it was probably my favorite part. I wish more systems, even ones that don't have moves like this, had some kind of a begin a session move, because shout out to this, very, very cool. So there's also a sector truths chart thing. I'm going to give a quick little shout out to this. I printed all these out so I could write on them. I thought they were going to be like super important. You roll on your truths of your world, of your forge, right? You talk about the tech level, the presence of life, history, magic, etc. It is really good for world building, but personally, I could have just skipped this whole thing. I knew what kind of world I wanted. I already had it in my head. And after I did this in my session 0, and I took the time and I really invested because I thought it was going to be important and all that stuff. After I did this is the first time I've pulled these pieces of paper out of this since I did it in my session 0. I never referenced back. I never looked at them. I never had to. So in my opinion, like, I mean, not a waste of time. If it's something that you're like, I really need to flesh out my world, then cool, amazing, good for you, get her going. But for me, useless. A cool system, but I didn't need it. Okay, so just once again, I want to say that this whole system is a fiction first mindset here. You don't roll to hit or pass a DC. You trigger a move, all right? You're going to trigger moves that are in this system. You've got recover moves to repair things. You've got legacy moves, threshold moves, fate moves, etc. They feel limiting. I thought there wasn't enough of them, but like once you understand the moves, you can kind of push the fiction of them a little bit, but you still kind of are in a box when it comes to them. And this is going to work for you if you're into narrative guidance, because like one move will tell you, you failed this move, now you must go and do another move. And then that move will have some kind of a result, like pay the price, which means you have to give up something or something like that. And that's kind of fun. It's a little bit more guided, and I think that that's cool. But if I fail a roll, I kind of already know what I want to do. You know what I mean? But maybe that's just because I'm a little bit more experienced when it comes to solo stuff. Right. So I still did a few yes and no but style skill checks in my play, which I would kind of recommend for you as well. But I was trying so hard to just use the moves and play to the system, you know, but it is what it is. So one other thing I will say, supply check. Again, genuinely love the idea of a supply check. You roll to see if you have a thing. Elegant, easy, and I'm stealing this for all my other games. I said it at the top and I'll say it again. So I feel like I've been a little bit, negative and positive. I think I've had a good mix of stuff to say about Ironsworn Starforged so far, but I think it's time for us to just straight up talk about what works in this system, right? I think the solo-friendly structure for beginners is phenomenal. I think it's really going to get you through it and help teach you how to play this thing. And the reference guide is a lifesaver. It was so smart of them to make this little reference guide. It's cool, it's handy dandy, and it's wonderful. And it comes in a little binding thing, which I think is friggin' sick. We also got to talk about the artwork and the layout of this thing. Smart layout all the way through, and really good accent images. images. I'm currently designing my own source book. It's an adventure book. It's not anything special, but I've been thinking a lot about layout and accent images, and they're very good in this here system, is all I gotta say. So the supply and gear tracking, all right, it's minimal, and that supply roll is awesome, all right? I'm gonna say that for a third time in this video. The oracle tables in this are very good. There is a lot of them, and I think if you don't think about things too much, these oracle tables will get you through. That's all that you're gonna need. Although I personally bought another book, but it comes with a lot of oracle tables that are awesome and rad. The start a session move is a complete standout here in this book. It's awesome, all right? The starship customization through assets is flavorful and simple. It's very cool to be able to, you know, add in modules to your starship, although I didn't get the opportunity to do so, nor did I get the opportunity to do a dogfight in my Let's Play. But, you know, it's still a very cool concept that I'm sure is going to be awesome. The relationship and legacy tracks do feel meaningful, though they do feel like homework. But I think for a beginner, the legacy tracks are going to be something great, right? Now, let's talk a little about negative things that I have in my head about this book here. What doesn't work in this book here? The lack of aliens is a big thematic miss for me, obviously. It seems like, you know, there was a lot they could have done with it, and I think maybe they were just like, that's a lot to add in here to complicate things even more. Maybe we don't do that. But expansion for aliens for Starforged, do it. All right, the move system does feel confining at times, but I think if you embrace it, it'll be okay, all right? The truth generation world thing felt like busy work at the beginning, if you have your own setting in mind. It did take outside videos for me to completely understand how to play this thing, so I think if you're not used to Powered by the Apocalypse systems, which is kind of what this is, if you like more OSR, kind of crunchy stuff, the Powered by the Apocalypse might take a little bit of learning curve to get to know it. Even though I'm kind of familiar with Powered by the Apocalypse, it still took me a little bit without outside videos. Probably why you're here. Hello. Also, yeah, not the best system if you want crunchy combat, anything else like that. That's a given. This is a narrative thing. I shouldn't even have to say that. Right. So, final section. Is this for you, right? Is this system for you? What do you think, right? What makes you say yes? What makes you say no? First of all, let me know down in the comments, and you could also let the community know. If they see it, they might think the same way you do when they check the comment section. But I think if you're new to solo games, you want guidance. If you love grounded sci-fi, kind of like more gritty sci-fi, if you want strong mechanical pacing in your story from the system itself, I think you're good. Definitely a maybe, though, if you like crunchy mechanics and stat-based rolls, if you want aliens or magic, if you prefer sandboxy world building over narrative rails, all right? And definitely a no if you want structured story, if you dislike structured story mechanics, right? Because that's here. And if you need aliens, epic tech, or gonzo weirdness from the get-go, it's also a no for you, right? So that's my take on Ironsworn Starforged. A powerful, powerful solo tool, beautifully made book, and a storytelling framework that's guided on some of the coolest things that I have played this year, right? Don't let me sell it short, but I don't think this thing will be for everyone. Let me know if you've played Ironsworn Starforged, if you've watched my actual play series right here on the channel, The Last Astral. There's 5 episodes of it. Give it a watch if you want to. Or if you've hacked it to make your own weird sci-fi world. Let us know some ways that you made it work for you down in the comments. That'd be sweet. But for now, my friends, take a seat on the couch and roll initiative just for a little while. Check out some more solo stuff that I've done, and I will see all of you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.